What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com, and I'm really excited to dive in today's episode because we're going to be talking all about Stoicism and specifically Marcus Aurelius. And we're going to be breaking down, he has so many different quotes. And if you don't know who Marcus Aurelius is, he was a Roman Empire from, I think it was 161 to about 180 AD, and he is a Stoic philosopher, and he has some of the best quotes there is, especially if you're a man, right? If you're a guy, if you're a dad also, right? A parent, like his just, man, grit, I like to say, mindset, tenacity, like it's really inspiring, honestly, because I feel like we need more people like that in today's society, really just stepping up to the plate, right? Bring back that manliness. And if you're wondering, like, what is Stoicism and what does that actually mean? Well, the definition is, the endurance of pain and hardships without the display of feelings and without complaining. And, like, think about that, right? Like, I just think in, once again, today's culture at least, we need more men, right? There's too many times guys are stuck in their own feelings, right? And they get, complain too much. They're just like little females or like little kids. And it's like, as men, like we gotta step up. Like think way back in the day when there was the draft for, World War II and whatnot. Like these guys, right, at the time, these were like teenagers, 16, 17-year-old kids, right, being drafted off to war. Like immediately they had to man up. There was no complaining. There was no, I'm sure they obviously felt like, oh man, I don't want to go do this, right? But regardless of how they feel, they had to show up, right? They had to endure the pain. They had to endure the hardships. And in today's society, we're very sheltered, I like to say, right? It's not hard. It's really not, right? And it's just like, it degrades us as men, honestly, because we're not building up that mental muscle. We're not building up those calluses, right, of going through those hardships and enduring it. And I want you to think about, like, to me at least, right, you need as a man to go through those hardships. You need to, because it gives a sense of inspiration and hope to other people, because they can look at you because you were able to succeed, because you're able to go through it, right? So you're going to be that beacon, that light, right? That lighthouse, right? That's going to help out others, But also, think about it like this, at least for myself. I want to endure as much suffering as possible so my friends and family cannot. Like, think about that. Meaning, like, I would rather, go through hell and back. I'd rather, hey, go into financial debt, right? Personally for myself. I'd rather, go through hell and back of, like, let's say waking up early and grinding away at the gym. Hey, I'd rather go through hell and back of, like, the reading of books and, taking different courses and becoming the best version I can mentally, right? I'd rather, go through hell and back and do all these different things and go through suffering, rather than be lazy and just sit around all day and just, hey, Groundhog's Day over and over and over again. Because guess what? When you decide to do what's hard, right, and decide to personally go through that suffering, you are making the lives easier for those around you. Like, I really want you to think about that. That's the same analogy of you taking time to fill up your cup so you can pour back into your others, right? Your friends, your family members, your community. And sometimes as a man, you got to understand, like, you got to take that burden on, and I get it. Like, yes, right. Community, having sense of people to help you, right. That definitely makes it a lot easier. But also, like, you got to understand, like, there's certain walks that you just have to go through in life that you just have to do. And the minute you continue to make excuses, the minute you continue to push things off the side or wish and hope and pray that somebody else or some other thing cures the situation at hand, that's not being a man. That's not facing the challenges. That's not going through the hardships. And you need to have that inner stoic within yourself start to come out. Start to come, forward and start saying, hey, listen, I know this is going to be tough, but on the other side of pain is greatness. On the other side of suffering is joy. And we need to go through that. We need to be that inspiration. We need to be that light. And sometimes we have to decide to, walk the walk, not just talk the talk. We have to decide to take action. And hopefully These quotes by Marcus Aurelius helps you out. He has hundreds of quotes. Hundreds of quotes. He has a great book, Meditations. Go read it. Hard read, right? But like, you just got to understand, like, once again, like, when you are fully developing into becoming the best version of yourself, when I say something like, hey, it's a hard read, understand this. It's a hard read for myself, because I don't do the best at reading comprehension. But hear me out. I know that by me being diligent and trying my best and reading this book and reading this book and reading this book and going back and rereading again until it finally clicks, helps me level up as a man, helps me level up as a husband, helps me level up, right, as a father, as a coach. So that little suffering right there of me not being the best, but continue to show up, continue to get better, that's what you need to start doing also in your journey of becoming the best version of yourself. And that could be with exercise, that could be with nutrition, that could be working on your mindset, that could be with stepping outside your comfort zone. Whatever it is that you need to focus on and improve on, let that be a little sense of hope. Let that be a little sense of inspiration that, guess what? It's the consistency. It's the progression over the perfection. It's the, hey, I'm going to show up each and every other day, right? Every single day, whether I feel like it or not. Because that's what it means to be a man and rise up to the occasion. That's what it means to step up. And once again, we need more people like that. So I encourage you, start living your life like that. Start taking action. Start taking ownership. Now, with that being said, let's dive into these 5 quotes. Once again, he has hundreds of quotes. These are the 5 quotes that personally resonate with me. Okay? They personally resonate with me. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about why they personally resonate with me, to hopefully inspire you as well. So we'll go from 5 down to number 1. Okay, so the first one on the list. He said, quote unquote, because a thing seems difficult for you, do not think it is impossible for anyone to accomplish. And I love that. Because so many times in life, we, right, ourselves, put up this barrier. We put up these self-limiting beliefs. And I always think back to Roger Bannister, right? The man that was able to complete the first 4-minute mile. You know, before then, everybody thought that the human heart would explode. Like, that's what doctors thought. It was impossible. Everybody came close, but never was able to succeed at doing the 4-minute mile. He was able to accomplish that. And since he was able to accomplish it, now there's hundreds of people, even high school kids, are able to complete a 4-minute mile. Because he broke the self-limiting beliefs for everybody. So once again, sometimes, right, you might think that something's impossible, but it's not impossible for somebody else. And when I know that somebody else can do it, I believe and have more faith and trust I can do it too. So hopefully that helps you out. The 4th quote, quote unquote, he who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. It's the same thing from a Chinese proverb, which is, if there's no enemy on the inside, the enemy on the outside can't do us any harm. And I love that. I love that. So many times, and you've heard so many different phrases about this, right? Hey, life really is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it, right? So it's like so many times we, once again, are making the challenges or the situation harder than what it needs to be. Our egos, our heads, are getting in our own ways, right? And it's like this vicious battle between the good and the, bad wolf, that's in all of us. And it's always going to be in all of us. So I love this quote because it's a daily reminder for me to, hey, focus on me not having any enemies on the inside. Focus on me, right? Really making sure that, like, in all areas of my life, I'm striving to be better, progress, right? And then my outside world's going to change. It's going to be better as well. The 3rd quote, all right, from Marcus Aurelius. When you arise in the morning, think about what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. I'll repeat that. Quote unquote. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to have. Now, the reason why I love that so much is because I love gratitude. Like, I love gratitude. Like, that is the number one trait and form of discipline, because it is a discipline to build upon, right? That I wish everybody would focus and try to improve on the most. So many times everybody wants this want, give me, I want, and never actually truly grateful for what they have until they don't have it anymore. If you ever lost a pet, maybe that makes sense. If you ever lost a loved one, maybe that makes sense. If you ever lost a job or your house, maybe, or food, who knows? Maybe that makes sense. So once again, we have a lot going for us right now. And every single morning, as Marcus Aurelius just said, right, we need to take note of that, right? And we need to realize that it's a precious privilege to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Right? So the second favorite quote of Marcus Aurelius of mine is quote unquote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find inner strength." Let me repeat that, quote unquote. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you would find inner strength." Guys, I've been saying that for quite some time, right? That like your mindset is the most valuable tool on your body. The most bang for your buck, hands down. Instead of training your muscles, train your mindset. Train your mindset. This thing up here is a powerful tool. And when you focus on really understanding what it's fully capable of, and honestly, go do some studies, on how your mind works, and you have your conscious mind, your subconscious mind. Go look up different neurologists and what they have to say. Right? Like, this stuff isn't just spitballing out just trying to give you some stuff you want to hear. Like, this is facts. Your mind is so powerful. And when you really, right, and I don't want to dive into that because I already dove into, the different mindsets, all that stuff, right, into so many other previous episodes. I just want to share with you just, hey, this is not a joke here. And if people way back in the day, like Marcus Aurelius, right, was already saying this, we need to understand, like, this is some truth here. And obviously with more technology, more advancements, more research studies keep on getting, produced, hey, we need to realize this is not a joke. We need to be focusing on really improving our mindsets and embracing that. It's truly amazing, right, when you start working on this thing. And then the very last, right, or I should say the top number one for me at least, right on the list, is in terms of his quote, and I love this one. "Your happiness," right, or I should say the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Let me repeat that, quote unquote. "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Remember the last quote I just shared with you was a lot about the mindset? And then the previous one was more about, gratitude. Well, now we're getting all the way, swinging back home, right? All roads lead to Rome, as they say. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Guys, I can't share that enough, like how true that really is. And so Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, has a book, Man's Search for Meaning, a very, very, very great book about gratitude. Obviously, it's going through, the concentration camps with just, everything like that in World War II. But there was this one part of the book where he kind of shares with him, one of the concentration camp members, he had like tears of joy, and like just like super happy because the bottom of his, soup, which is like dirt water, was a pea, right? Like a little tiny pea. And it was at the bottom of the bowl, underneath like the dirt water, whatever. And he just like tears of joy, And it just goes to show somebody, right? Like that's a hard, like you're in a hard living conditions, environments, like your life is literally at risk every single day. And yet he was so happy, right? Just for having the small thing, like a little pea. So it just goes to show you, like, your thoughts, like in the midst of the darkness, there could still be an opportunity for the light. Always. Like, your life truly depends on your thoughts. And maybe right now you might be overweight, out of shape, broke, right? Like homeless, jobless. Maybe you just got out of a really bad relationship and somebody left you. Whatever, right? In the midst of the hell that you might be in right now. Your thoughts, your mind. There's a lot of power to it. And you can find, right, just changing things around all stems with how you think. And this is literally why at Heartletics, we focus so much on coaching our guys, not to just become the best versions of themselves physically, but more so mentally. That's the key. That's the key. Everybody that goes through our, coaching program, they always see great results, right? They look better, they feel better, everything like that. And we tell them that, like, hey, just follow the program. Like, this isn't rocket science. This is simple stuff, right? Like, eat more protein, be more active, listen to what we have to say on our coaching calls. You'll have success. Like, that's it, right? It's pretty simple. But and this is what we always tell them, it's not what you get from Heartletics. That's the icing on the cake, the true prize. It's who you become in that process. It's what you learned. It's what you overcame. It's that mental transformation that now you're that inspiration. You're that beacon of light to help and inspire out others as well. Your friends, your family. So guys, as we're wrapping up today's episode, keep in mind these top 5 quotes, and do your own research on Stoicism. And, there's a lot of great Stoics out there. And Marcus Aurelius is just obviously my favorite. And once again, hopefully this message was just to give you some light, to inspire you, to continue to strive to truly become the best version of yourself. That's it. Start filling up your cup so you can pour more out into others. And hopefully if you guys got any value, do me a favor. Please share this episode with a friend, with a loved one, maybe on social media, on Facebook or something like that. And if you have any questions, obviously message me. Let me know. Leave a comment. Would love to have a conversation. But regardless, guys, this has been Coach Joe with the Heartletics podcast, and I will talk to you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.